Hey there everyone, welcome back to another Cooking with Michael episode. Today we're going to make the chocolate peanut butter cakes from the Sci-Fi Dine Theater. Let's get started. Now the chocolate peanut butter cakes can be made in several different ways, but today I'm going to just follow along with the recipe that's here in this Disney Kitchen Magic book, and we're going to make it together. Okay, now the first part of the recipe calls for us to make the Chocolate-Pecan Streusel, which sounds amazing. But first we're going to need a little bit of counter space. You ready? Here we go. And there we go. Okay, now for the chocolate pecan streusel, we're going to need butter and sugar and unsweetened cocoa powder and pecans and flour. Now we're going to add all of our ingredients to one large bowl, and first we're going to start with 1 cup of flour. Okay, 1 cup of flour. And now we're going to need 1 cup of sugar. Flour and sugar are already making a good combination. Now we need 3/4 of a cup of butter, and that for me is 1 entire stick plus a half of another stick, and they have to be softened to room temperature. Now these sticks of butter have been sitting out for about an hour now, but I don't think they're warm enough. They're not quite room temperature yet. I don't think they're ready for mixing up. So I'm going to put them into the microwave, but not on full power. Just on the softened setting so they get to that room temperature. I think I did this one just a little bit too long, but that's softened. That looks good. There's 1.5 sticks of butter. Okay, now we need 1 cup of chopped pecans. These are whole pecans. I'm going to chop them up, put them into the 1 cup measure, and then put them into our mix. Now you can always buy chopped pecans, but I like to eat these kind of as a snack, so I bought the whole ones that I'm going to chop up myself. And there we go, 1 cup of chopped pecans. Last but not least, we need 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder to add to our mix. Opening up cocoa powder like this really makes me want to make hot chocolate. And there we go, 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. Okay, now we're going to blend up the ingredients together until they're sticking together and crumbly. Not so sure what crumbly means, but I'm sure I'll find out. Okay, now I'm going to give this a try first without turning it on. Just move it all together here so the cocoa powder doesn't fly everywhere. But eventually I'm going to turn it on low speed to mix it up. Whoa. Okay, I think that's just about as blended as I'm going to get it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the next smaller bowl right here, transfer the chocolate pecan streusel into it so I have a larger bowl for the next step. Don't spill, don't spill, don't spill. Almost 100%. That was pretty good. There we go. We're transferred to a smaller bowl. I'm going to set this aside, and then I'm going to use this bowl to make the next step. I don't recommend cooking while you're hungry. These are delicious. Let me check. 190 calories per 1/4 cup. Okay, now the next step in the recipe calls for me to make chocolate pudding, so I'm going to make it right here in this bowl by combining 2 cups of cold milk to the mixture. Okay, let me make sure I read the directions this time. 2 cups cold milk for 1 package. Got it. Now if you're making pudding at home, make sure you follow the directions on your package, but for me I need 1 of these packets for 2 cups of milk. It all of a sudden smells like Hershey's Chocolate Factory in here. I gotta tell you, smells delicious. There we go, 2 cups of milk. Now we're gonna mix it together for about 2 minutes using the wire whisk on our beater tool here. Okay, there we go. We've got chocolate pudding right there. It's got to sit for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to take 1 cup of it and add it to the rest of our ingredients. Now you might be thinking, Michael, so is the rest of the chocolate pudding going to go to waste? No, it's not. The rest of my family, I'm sure, will help me eat it. Now while we're waiting for the pudding to settle for about 5 minutes, I'm going to start combining the peanut butter and the condensed milk into this container, and we'll get started on the next step. Now this step is simple. We need 1 cup of peanut butter, 1 cup of condensed milk, and then 1 cup of the chocolate pudding. Okay, I'm going to keep on getting that peanut butter out of here. It looks amazing. I kind of want to eat it all, but I'm going to put it in this 1 cup measure until I've got 1 full cup of peanut butter. Okay, here we go. 1 cup. I don't think I've ever used this much peanut butter in a recipe before. Yum, peanut butter. Okay, now we need 1 cup of condensed milk. I'm going to use my very special Mickey can opener there to open it up. Now it's very important that the condensed milk is sweetened. If it's not sweetened, it is definitely not going to taste right. So that's a little trick right there. If you put a second hole at the top, it creates kind of like an air hole so that it can come out just a little bit faster there. Maybe this will make a cup, maybe, but if not, I've got a second one standing by. I mean, I don't know if this will be a cup or not. I think this can is exactly 1 cup. Next time I'm going to look at it, but I think it's exactly 1 cup. That's great. Okay, well, there we go. 1 cup of condensed milk. Okay, now it's time for 1 cup of that chocolate pudding. Okay, there we go. 1 cup prepared chocolate pudding. Now we're going to whisk all of the ingredients together until they're combined. Okay, that looks excellent, and you know I've got to try a little bit of it. Oh wow, yes, oh wow, wait a minute, that's really good. Now we're going to set this delicious peanut butter chocolate filling aside, and we're going to make the cake. Okay, now the recipe calls for devil's food cake, and instead of trying to make it from scratch, which takes forever, I'm trying to make it easy for you now. I've got the devil's food cake from Duncan Hines right here that I'm going to make out of the box. Now if you recall in the past, I made a comparison video, the carrot cake cookie I made between making it from scratch and making it from a box, and you'll recall from that video, it was so much better from the box. That's what got me on these boxes. Now the first step on the box is to grease the pan. I'm going to show you you how to do that in just a second because it's going to be very special for this recipe, so we're going to skip that for a moment and mix the ingredients in this larger bowl. Now we're going to blend this 1 cake mix, 1 cup of water, 1/3 of a cup of vegetable oil, and 3 large eggs in this large bowl, and then we're going to mix it up for 2 minutes. Cake mix, 1 cup of water, 1/3 of a cup of vegetable oil, and there's the 3rd egg. Now we're going to mix it up at a low speed for about 2 minutes. Okay, there we go. We have Devil's Food Cake batter. That looks delicious. Now that the batter is done, we're going to set the oven to 350 degrees. Done. Okay, now I'm going to put the batter aside and I'm going to show you how we're going to grease the inside of these custard cups that I'm going to use to make our chocolate peanut butter cakes. Now to grease the inside of my custard cups, what I'm going to do is I'm going to melt this butter and then use that as the grease instead of spraying something on. Okay, now to grease the inside of my custard cups, I'm going to take this little brush right here, dip it in some melted butter, and then just use that to grease all around the inside here. Now the brush isn't working so well, so I'm going to use this piece of parchment paper, kind of dip it in the butter right there, and then go like this to grease it, so it gives me a little bit more flexibility and maneuverability. Okay, now the custard cups are greased with butter. They look great, they're ready to go, but the recipe calls for me to put a small piece of parchment paper in the bottom of each one. That is how important it is for it not to stick to the custard cup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this parchment paper right on top and kind of just stick it to the bottom and a little bit on the sides, just like that, just to be sure that it does not stick to the custard cup. And then after I put a piece of parchment paper in each custard cup, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit more butter on the parchment paper. That is how many precautions I'm taking to make sure it does not stick. I don't even think super glue could stick to the inside of these custard cups. And there we go. Take a look. We got parchment paper on the inside of these custard cups. They're ready to go. And now that the custard cups are ready to go, let's bring our streusel and our peanut butter and chocolate filling along with our chocolate cake mix back to the table. Now the first step is to put a little bit of that streusel right on the bottom of each one of these custard cups. Now I think about 1 tablespoon or so of the streusel right on top is good for each one of these. I've also been pushing these down. I don't know why. I think I'm just trying to make more room for the peanut butter filling and the chocolate cake. Now that I have streusel in every single one of the custard cups, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons worth of the peanut butter filling right to it. So about 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons is a good amount, maybe 1.5, depending on what you like. I'm just going to experiment here. Some of them are going to have 1.5, some of them are going to have 2 tablespoons. Okay, there we go. They're all filled up with peanut butter and chocolate filling. And last but not least, I have to add our chocolate cake to the top. So just put it right on top of that peanut butter filling. Now I have a feeling these are going to expand just a little bit in the oven while they're cooking, so I'm trying to leave a little bit of room at the top, but I don't think I'm leaving enough. Okay, there we go. I think we are just about set. These are really full. I wasn't trying to fill them that much, but I feel like you need at least some of the chocolate cake. We'll see how they turn out. Okay, now the last step is to bake our chocolate peanut butter cakes. And the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna take 2 different cookie sheets. We're gonna put 6 of these custard cups on each sheet, put them in the oven, and then switch places halfway through. So it's a 20-minute cooking process. So for 10 minutes, one's on top, one's on the bottom, and then the next 10 minutes you switch them. So as soon as 10 minutes goes by, you switch them, and then you're set to go. Okay, now I wanna put them into the oven at the same time. So let's get the first 6 ready to go. Okay, now the next time you see these custard cups, they'll be fully cooked. Let's do it. Now while those are cooking away, I actually decided to try some of the peanut butter filling and some of that streusel with it. I kind of combined them into a little bowl here, and I've got to say, this alone tastes like a Reese's peanut butter cup in kind of like liquid form. It is so, so good. And here they are right out of the oven, and you can see they actually look fantastic right there. They're starting to pull away just a little bit from the sides of those custard cups, but I'm going to give them about another minute, maybe 1 more minute for them to pull away just a little bit more, and we'll be set to go. And there they are. They look absolutely perfect. Take a look at those. They look fantastic. They're pulling away just a little bit from the side of the custard cups here, so they really look great. So now I'm going to let them sit for about 20 minutes to cool before I take them out of the custard cup. 20 minutes on our little Death Star timer there. Set to go. Take a look at these. They look spectacular. Wow, they came out so incredibly well. Now let's try and turn them over and put them on a plate. Okay, this is the first attempt. I'm going to put the plate like this and try and turn it over. See if it just plops out of there. Otherwise, oh, there it goes. Oh, wow. Wow! Okay, now we're gonna take the parchment paper right off and just look at that. Wow! This came out incredibly well. I cannot wait to try it. But the directions clearly state you've got to have vanilla ice cream served on top or on the side, so let's go get that. Okay, there's a little bit of ice cream right on top, maybe a little bit more than that. Now a little bit more right on top, maybe on the side a little bit. Yeah, that's perfect. We're ready to try it. Okay, now it's time for the moment of truth. The moment you've been waiting for. Time to give it a try. Okay, here we go. A little bit of ice cream on top. We'll go right through the center here. Bon appetit. Let's give it a try together. Wow. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What a cake. Wow. It's rich. It's peanut buttery. It's got that chocolate in there. The streusel on top turned out really well. And the ice cream on the side I think goes absolutely perfectly together. What a treat this is. I can't stop. It's just so good. I absolutely love it. If you're a fan of peanut butter, you are going to want to try this recipe. It is spectacular. I wouldn't change a thing about this recipe whatsoever. It turned out perfectly. I mean, 100% beyond my expectations. What a recipe. Thank you so much for being a part of the magic with me and joining me on another Cooking with Michael. This was absolutely spectacular. Loved making it for you. If you give it a try, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear how it turns out for you and how you like it. Until next time, have a magical day.